You know the Taj Mahal as the ultimate symbol of love, but its story is also one of shocking betrayal, a dark family secret, and an emperor imprisoned by his own son with only a view of his masterpiece. For more unforgettable stories that make history come alive, make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss our next video. This is the story of Shah Jahan, the mighty Mughal emperor, and Mumtaz Mahal, the woman he loved more than anything else in his life. I think after you listen to this, you will be shocked to learn how one man's love for one woman gave birth to something so incredible that it still stands even after 400 years. This is not just a history lesson. This is a perfect story for your English listening practice. So please sit back, relax, and let me take you on a journey back in time. It is a journey of love and power, of pain, and an unforgettable legacy. Now let's begin. To truly understand the Taj Mahal, we must go back in time. Let's travel all the way back to the year 1607. Imagine a grand Mughal palace. This palace is decorated with gold and with soft silk curtains. The floors are covered with the finest carpets from Persia. The air inside is filled with the sweet fragrance of rosewater, and just outside the gardens are blooming with the most colorful flowers you can imagine. This was the world of Prince Khurram. He would later become Shah Jahan, the great emperor of India. At this time, he was a handsome young prince. He was intelligent, very brave, and ambitious. He was the son of Jahangir, the fourth emperor, and the grandson of the mighty Akbar the Great. Everyone in the empire knew that one day this young prince would rule. But he had no idea, absolutely no idea, that his life was about to change forever. One day, while he was walking through the royal bazaar, a busy and beautiful market, Prince Khurram saw a young girl. And she was not an ordinary girl. Her name was Arjumand Banu Begum. She was a Persian princess from a very noble and respected family. Her beauty, it was beyond imagination. She had long, dark black hair, deep brown eyes, and a smile that could melt even the coldest heart. In that single moment, seeing her for the first time, Prince Khurram fell in love. He simply could not take his eyes off her. The gentle way she moved, the soft sound of her voice when she spoke. It was as if the whole world around him had disappeared, and only she remained. He knew right there in his heart that she was the one. But as you can imagine, love in royal families was not so simple. Arjumand was the niece of Nur Jahan, who was the powerful wife of the emperor Jahangir. Marrying her was not going to be easy because royal marriages were almost always about politics, not about love. But Khurram was determined. He was not going to give up. He went to his father and said, "I will marry no one but Arjumand." The Emperor Jahangir, knowing his son's strong will, finally agreed. But there was a problem. In those days, Mughal princes did not marry immediately, even if they were engaged. They had to wait. And so for 5 long years, Khurram and Arjumand waited. They waited for the day they could have their wedding. Finally, in the year 1612, the grand wedding took place. The celebration was like something from a dream. There were elephants decorated with jewels and golden palaces filled with music. The finest food from all over the empire was served. It was a true celebration of love, a love that would later create the greatest monument in history. After their marriage, Prince Khurram gave her a new name. He called her Mumtaz Mahal, which means the chosen one of the palace, and she truly was his chosen one. Shah Jahan had a total of 7 wives, but Mumtaz Mahal was the only one he truly deeply loved. His other wives did not live with him in the same way Mumtaz did. They were in the palace for status, for political reasons, not for love. Mumtaz Mahal was not just his queen, she was Shah Jahan's heart, his soul, his everything. Even though he had many wives, it was Mumtaz whom he loved the most. She was his best friend, his closest advisor, and his greatest happiness. Wherever Shah Jahan went, Mumtaz was always with him. This was very different from other Mughal queens who often lived quiet lives inside the palace. Mumtaz traveled with Shah Jahan everywhere. She went with him to different cities, she was with him during battles, and she stood by him even in the most difficult times. She was not just a silent queen. She was his partner in everything. She helped him make important decisions. She advised him on matters of politics. She always stood by his side. She was not only beautiful, but also incredibly intelligent, kind, and wise. Shah Jahan trusted her more than anyone else in the world. If he had a problem, he would ask Mumtaz first. If he was sad, Mumtaz was the one who comforted him. She was his strength. She was his peace. She was his love. Every morning when Shah Jahan woke up, the very first thing he wanted to see was Mumtaz. And every night before he slept, he wanted to hear her voice. Their love was something truly rare and special, even in the history of powerful kings and queens. For 19 years, their love grew deeper and deeper. Together, they had 14 children, and each child made their bond even stronger. Mumtaz was not just a queen. She was a loving mother, a caring wife, and a kind-hearted woman who was loved by everyone in the palace. Even the servants, the ministers, and the soldiers respected her deeply because she was always kind and fair to every single person. But life is unpredictable. Even the greatest love stories can take a tragic turn. In the year 1631, after so many years of happiness, Shah Jahan faced a great challenge. A rebellion had started in the Deccan region of modern-day India. As the emperor, Shah Jahan had to lead his army to fight this war. And as always, Mumtaz insisted on going with him. She was pregnant with their 14th child, but she refused to stay behind. She said to him, "I will never leave you no matter where you go." Shah Jahan was so worried. He begged her to stay in the palace to rest and take care of herself, but Mumtaz just held his hand and smiled gently. She said, "How can I be at peace when you are in danger? My place is by your side." Shah Jahan could never say no to her, and so she traveled with him to the battlefield. But this journey was too hard for her. The long days of travel, the heat, the stress. It was all too much for her delicate health. And then, in a small tent near the battlefield, the unthinkable happened. Mumtaz went into labor. The childbirth was very long and very painful. The doctors and nurses tried everything they could, but something was wrong. After hours and hours of agony, she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. But Mumtaz was very, very weak. She could barely open her eyes. Her body was simply too exhausted to survive. Shah Jahan rushed to her side. He held her hands tightly, his eyes filled with fear and pain. Mumtaz, struggling to breathe, looked into his eyes one last time. She whispered, "Promise me you will never forget our love." Shah Jahan, with tears streaming down his face, said, "I swear, my love, you are my heart. You are my life. I will love you forever." And then Mumtaz took her last breath. She was gone. The woman who was his world, his happiness, his love, she was gone. Shah Jahan broke down completely. He refused to believe it. He held her in his arms, crying like a child. The mighty emperor, the powerful ruler of a great empire, was now just a man who had lost the love of his life. The entire palace fell silent. Ministers, soldiers, servants. Everyone wept. The news spread across the empire, and people could not believe it. Mumtaz Mahal was gone. The love of Shah Jahan's life, The woman he cherished more than anything in the world had left him forever. The once powerful emperor was now a broken man. He did not care about the empire, or the palace, or even his own life anymore. After Mumtaz died, Shah Jahan locked himself in his room for 8 days. For those 8 long days, he did not eat, he did not drink, and he did not speak to anyone. His ministers, his sons, his daughters. Everyone tried to comfort him, but he refused to see anyone. He just sat there in the darkness holding a piece of Mumtaz's clothing, whispering her name over and over again. On the 9th day, his ministers begged him to come out. The empire needed him. His people needed him. But Shah Jahan no longer cared about ruling. When he finally stepped out of the room, people gasped. The strong, handsome emperor they knew was gone. His black hair had turned completely white. His eyes were swollen and red from crying. His face looked pale and lifeless. The man who once ruled with such power now looked like a living ghost. And then he made a decision that shocked the entire empire. He said, "I will build a monument that will make the whole world remember Mumtaz Mahal. She will live forever through this monument." This was the beginning of the Taj Mahal. Before Mumtaz died, she had made one last request to Shah Jahan. She had whispered, "Bury me in a place so beautiful that people will come from every corner of the world just to see it." Shah Jahan swore that he would fulfill her wish. At first her body was buried in a garden in Burhanpur where she had died, but this was not the final resting place she deserved. Shah Jahan began searching for the perfect location. He wanted a place that was peaceful, grand, and worthy of their incredible love. And then he found it a beautiful spot in Agra, right next to the Yamuna River. A place where the river's reflection would shine on her tomb forever. And so he moved Mumtaz's body from Burhanpur to Agra, where the greatest monument of love would be built for her. From that moment on, Shah Jahan had only one purpose in his life: to build the most beautiful monument in the world for Mumtaz Mahal. But this would not be just any tomb. It had to be made of the purest white marble from Rajasthan. It had to be decorated with precious gemstones from all over the world. It had to be so perfect that no other building in history could ever compare. Shah Jahan called for the best architects, engineers, and artists from across India, Persia, Turkey, and Central Asia. He had promised to build the greatest monument of love, and he would do it no matter how much it cost. The Taj Mahal was built using materials from all over the world. There was pure white marble from Makrana in Rajasthan, India. There was jade and crystal from China. Turquoise came from Tibet, and lapis lazuli from Afghanistan. There was sapphire from Sri Lanka, carnelian from Arabia, and diamonds from Golconda, India. Gold, silver, and pearls were brought from all over Asia and Europe. It is estimated that the total cost of building the Taj Mahal was around 32 million rupees at that time. In today's money, that would be more than $1 billion. It was the most expensive structure built in that era. Over 20,000 workers labored day and night for 22 years to complete this masterpiece. But one of the most interesting questions is, why is it called the Taj Mahal? The name has been a mystery for many people. Some historians believe it comes from Mumtaz Mahal, the name of Shah Jahan's beloved wife. Taj means crown in Persian, and Mahal means palace in Arabic. So Taj Mahal means the Crown Palace, a very fitting name for the monument of the queen who ruled Shah Jahan's heart. But other people believe the name comes from an ancient Hindu temple that might have existed at that site before. Regardless of where the name came from, one thing is certain: the Taj Mahal is the ultimate symbol of love. But while this magnificent structure was being built, something terrible was happening within the royal family. One of the most shocking and controversial claims in history is about Shah Jahan's relationship with his own daughter, Jahanara Begum. Jahanara was Shah Jahan's favorite daughter, born to his beloved Mumtaz Mahal. After Mumtaz's death, Jahanara took on the role of the First Lady of the Mughal Empire. She was intelligent, beautiful, and had great political power. But there was a dark rumor. Some historians believe that Shah Jahan never let her marry because he wanted her for himself. Jahanara never married, and she was treated like a queen, unlike his other daughters. Some historians claim Shah Jahan had an inappropriate relationship with her. But we must be clear, there is no solid proof of this. There are only theories and speculation. What is certain is that Shah Jahan adored Jahanara, and she was the only person he truly trusted in his final years. But soon he would lose everything. Shah Jahan had 4 sons, and the fight for the throne was brutal. His sons fought a deadly war against each other for power. The strongest among them was Aurangzeb. He was a ruthless warrior and a man of very strict Islamic beliefs. Unlike his father, who loved art, music, and beauty, Aurangzeb was a cold-hearted ruler. He believed in military power and religious control. He hated the extravagance of the Taj Mahal. He believed his father was wasting the empire's money on useless, beautiful things instead of focusing on war and power. And so, in 1658, Aurangzeb did something unthinkable. He imprisoned his own father. Aurangzeb locked Shah Jahan inside the Agra fort, a massive palace very near the Taj Mahal. For 8 long years, Shah Jahan was a prisoner. But the cruelest part of his imprisonment was that his prison had a small window with a view of the Taj Mahal. Every single day he would sit by that window staring at the monument he built for his lost love. He spent his last years in deep sadness thinking about Mumtaz Mahal and the incredible love they had shared. His only comfort was his daughter Jahanara Begum, who chose to stay with him in his prison until his very last breath. In 1666, after 8 years as a prisoner, Shah Jahan died at the age of 74. His final wish was simple. He wanted to be buried next to Mumtaz Mahal. Aurangzeb granted this wish. Shah Jahan was secretly buried next to his beloved wife in the same tomb inside the Taj Mahal. And so the love story of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal finally came to an end. Today, the Taj Mahal is considered one of the 7 wonders of the world and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It stands as a powerful reminder of the love that Shah Jahan had for Mumtaz Mahal. But it is also a story of love and loss, of betrayal and tragedy, of power and downfall. The story of the Taj Mahal is not just about a beautiful building. It is about a love so powerful that it created one of the greatest wonders of the world. People from all over the globe visit this breathtaking monument. Millions of tourists, leaders, and historians come to admire its beauty. Engineers and architects from around the world still praise the perfection of its design. They wonder how in an era without any modern machines, such a flawless masterpiece was built. Even Bill Clinton, the former president of the United States, once said, "There are 2 kinds of people in the world, those who have seen the Taj Mahal and those who haven't." This shows that the Taj Mahal is not just a building. It is an experience. It is a feeling. It is a story carved in stone. It is a monument of love. But it is also a reminder of the deep pain of losing someone you hold dear. It is eternal. It is unforgettable. It is the Taj Mahal. And that is why the story of the Taj Mahal will live forever. Thank you for listening with me today. I hope this story has touched you, and I hope it has helped you with your English learning. I look forward to sharing another story with you soon.